Welcome to Oh Brother, a podcast where we try to figure it all out with your hosts, Brandon and Collin. On this week's show, other Greek things.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Did you push the thing again?
No. So I have. Okay, so I have a lot of other things connected to my computer. So when I sit down on my desk, so I'm at home base, and I have.
Gasp.
I know, gasp. I have just for a little bit though, because I have got to go back down because we start summer camp tomorrow. For Lillingham.
Nice.
So we're going to do some shoreline stuff there. But anyway, so I'm here. I have a Tascam a USB 2x2, right? This is where I plug in my XLR cables.
Mm-hmm.
But that has to go into a hub because my little laptop only has like so many things that I can plug into.
Oh yeah, so many ports in.
So I go from the Tascam to a hub, and then from the hub to my laptop. And every now and then, Zoom is like, aha, you have a hub. And it just like connects to the hub and thinks that's the audio device. And
like, no.
All of the other, every light, everything else turns on and is going because the USB thing is, or the Tascam 2x2, it's receiving my signal, so it's lighting up and it all looks fine. But the hub isn't an audio thing, so
yeah, so it doesn't.
Bad Zoom.
It is a problem. I wouldn't open for me either today. I don't understand. It was really weird, but I don't know. It's on now. Do I sound okay?
Yes, you sound good.
Do I sound any more? I don't know. Fibrous, perhaps.
Oh, what?
Oh yeah. That's what's up.
Oh my goodness!
Look at this, ladies and gentlemen. Possibly much more stable internet. Wow. Look at there. Finally. Hey. I think maybe the reason Zoom wouldn't open it was going, this is so much faster than I can't process this.
What is this speed?
The internet's now moving faster than my super old computer can handle. So it's like,
oh, right. Yeah. And then you're like, sorry, little guy. Here we go.
So we'll see how it goes. We'll see.
Oh my gosh.
It was a big test. We did it yesterday. So
they were installing that down your way and you jumped on it?
Yeah. Some of our friends got in with one of the new companies around here, and they really they really like it. And so we're just like, okay, we'll go for that. We'll see what's up. So testing it out here. Give it the old test. We know.
Shakedown. So how's the streaming bit? What are you doing there? I
have no idea. I didn't test it on my Wi-Fi, but it's much, much, much higher from when he tested yesterday. So, like infinitely higher than it was on the old, like weird wireless thing. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, test run. Still shaking out bugs. Who knows? Yesterday, when I had it on for a little bit, all of a sudden it was like the Wi-Fi connection was just like, bye, see you later. I was like, what? But it came back, so I don't know. Who knows?
That's bizarre. So did they have to run an all new, your brand new router and modem and stuff boxing over there?
Big old thing. So yeah, see how it goes here. We'll just see.
Nice.
Yeah.
We have some companies in our area that are doing that, but they are not the gentlest on people's properties. They're pretty ruthless when it comes to making a path and installing.
These guys have been pretty good. So
good.
And we rent anyway, so who cares if they mess up the line?
Not my yard.
But our yard looks fine. They run it right between our building for a lot of the other stuff, and you can't even tell it's out there. So it's fine. So that's the exciting update of the week.
Oh,
actual real life internet.
That
you can use.
Usable internet. I think that's
usable internet. That's the ticket.
Pretty wild.
Yeah.
Pretty wild.
There you go.
Hey, as we speak right now, maybe 3 stone throws away if you had the wind at your back.
You had a good hefty stone toss.
Yes. If you were the kind of person who had a really good stone toss and you had the wind at your back, you could, as we speak, be listening to
right.
the Goo Goo Dolls with The Fray.
Oh, there we go.
Right now. Yes.
Can you hear it out the window?
I can't. I know.
That's the only Goo Goo Doll song I know.
Megan was like
weird. I never watched that movie. Is that the City of Angels?
City of Angels
soundtrack.
Yes, it is.
It was big on MTV.
You think?
Big and like swoopy. Lots of swoopy crane shots in that music video.
It was very, very dark. Lots of it was raining.
Yeah. Is that Nick Cage? Is Nicolas Cage in that movie?
Was he in? He was.
Is that true?
He was.
Okay.
He was in City of Angels.
Right. Maybe we'll put that in 4 years when we have our best movies that happen in Los Angeles, because that's where the Summer Olympics are going to be. Maybe I'll watch City of Angels. Probably not, but maybe. Don't get your hopes up, though. That's gonna be.
I don't know. Man, that came out in 1998.
We don't need to talk about that. Okay, that's fine. You didn't have to wrap me out like that. Okay.
Well, because usually I'm like, I'm like, cool. Who else was in that movie? And then I saw that.
I just seem to recall it was Nicolas Cage for some reason.
He's got
that was in like the Nicolas Cages everywhere. That was the time, right? That late 90s, early 2000s. That was like Nicolas Cage is in every movie. It's all over the place, right? He's doing one of Susan's favorite movies all the time, Con Air, right? A little bit earlier than that. And then he's just sweeping through the Gone in 60 Seconds remake, right? He's just, he's all over the place.
I forget that his actual last name is Coppola.
Yeah. Cage is like his acting name.
Yes. Right. Yes. His stage name.
Nom de guerre.
Yeah. Right. Wow. I had, there's Francis Ford Coppola and Francis August. Okay. Anyway. Yeah. Cage, what was the thing with him in the acting? Like, he basically just like, he would buy all the rights to those movies and then act in them himself. Right?
Oh, well, that was a little bit later.
Oh, right. Yeah, that was after his peak, Gone 60 Seconds.
Yeah. That was after
that. Yes.
Yeah, he started doing that just so he could like act in whatever he wanted to. Like, I want to do this movie. And like, instead of waiting around for somebody to make the movie, he was just like, I'm going to do it.
Yes.
Whatever. Yeah. But he was in so much stuff. Let me see if I can IMDb down here. He's got so many movies we can like zip down through. But like, closer. Yeah. So, I forget about some of these other ones, some of the earlier ones. But yeah, I would say Leaving Las Vegas, the 1995 kickoff. Then you have The Rock, Con Air, Face Off, City of Angels, Snake Eyes, 8mm. I don't know what Bring Out Your Dead is. Gone in 60 Seconds.
Yes.
Family Man, right? Like, oh my heavenly days, Nick Cage called them Wind Talkers. Like, Matchstick Men, National Treasure again, right? Lord of War, the Ant Bully. What in the world is that? The World Trade Center movie, The Wicker Man. That's the one where we start overacting like a whole lot. That's where the meme is, the bees meme, where it's like, not the bee. That's that comes from that movie. But I don't even think, internet fact check me here, but I think that's not even the actual, is that like the alternate ending scene maybe? I don't even remember. There's like an alternate ending.
Yes.
And like it's even wackier than like the normal one. Yeah. Ghost Rider, another National Treasure movie. Like, there's all like 7,000 movies in a row, just like Nick Cage everywhere.
Yes.
Weirdly, The Sorcerer's Apprentice. This is when we're firmly in like weird Nick Cage territory.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Ghost Rider, the Ghost Rider sequel. Like, yeah, we go full blown like nuts. We have all kinds of like crazy things.
Man, you pulled out. Yeah, if you want to see, man, he's just really.
He's cranked him out, right? He's just cranking him out, going away, just blapping through everything, right? I don't think personally. I think we peaked quite early with The Rock. That's probably
well, that's hard.
My favorite one, yeah. But Susan she'll be mad if I don't mention that her favorite Nick Cage movie is Con Air. Of course, that's
yes, very good one. Very good. I'm glad she chose a good one.
Yeah, right. You know,
because there are some not so good ones.
Yes,
later in line.
But yeah, there you go. Just sorry about the Nick Cage tirade there, listeners. Probably weren't ready for that, but that's just how it goes, right? I also low-key, I think I've mentioned this several times on this show, but I low-key like the Gone in 60 Seconds remake because it's just so corny. Like, it's so cheesy and goofy that I like, right? It has all the good tropes that you need in your life. It's got everything. It's got the old Robert Duvall, random Angelina Jolie, like any good 2000s movie.
Yes.
Right? Like, it's another good, my stated favorite trope is the getting the band back together trope, right? Or the forming of the group trope. And that is what God in 60 Seconds is about. So
that's
it got me.
It's a good one. And yeah. It's I do like the Gone in 60 Seconds remake. I do. It is a personal favorite of mine for sure. Because it's the planning, it's the scheming, it's the
what's kind of a heist. I think it's a heist movie. I think it is
definitely. Well, yeah, he has to steal 50 cars in one night.
Yeah,
right.
I think I put that in the heist movie list. Actually, that might be where we talked about this before. But yes, I like that movie a lot. Maybe not a lot, but I do like the movie. I will watch it if it's definitely on. And every once in a while, I'll be like, hey, I should watch that. Because now it's on, like, you can find it for free places. So I'm like, I can watch it. Go for it. I can watch that. Oh, man. Speaking of watching, some Olympic recap for you. How about that?
Yeah.
Segue here. Because all I've been doing this week, other than dreading having to go back to work on Tuesday, and sit through just who knows how many meetings. I really don't want to go through meetings. I really need to go clean my room. I don't want to go to meetings. But I've been watching some Olympics, right? So we got to talk about some Olympic things here. I had some thoughts about the Olympics for you. First of all, I know it's a little bit late now, but we got to talk about Olympic standout star, okay, in the swimming category, right? Olympic standout star in the swimming category, Tori Husk. Bro, listen. She did 2 anchor relays. She did the mixed the IM relay thing, the male-female mixed thing, and the women's IM medley relay anchor leg. Monster. Coming in clutch with the double gold relay anchor leg. Nice. Man, it was great. I thought Rowdy Gaines was going to explode. That's how it goes. I thought the man was going to vibrate into a million pieces. He was just going to like burst.
Yeah.
It was great. It was good to see it. So good job. Husk. Excellent. The other thing I want to talk about, I've developed a bit of a theory here. So I need your
no. I
need your input. Right.
Okay.
Last night. Was it last night? Or the night before? Either way, recently, the men's 4x100 relay team sucked again. Right?
Ooh.
Bad handoff. No medals. Again.
Womp.
Right?
Womp.
This is like multiple times in a row in world championships and Olympic performances. They botch a handoff, they drop a handoff, they screw up a handoff, they mess up somewhere, and they lose. This has been happening for 20 years.
Oh,
I think, here's my suspicion. Okay. I think we have a sports curse going on here. I think that's what's happening. I think this is like Boston Red Sox, Chicago Cubs territory. Okay.
Oh,
I think something has happened. I don't know if they need to get the GOAT. I don't know if they need to acknowledge the Babe Ruth, but
something.
I think we have a sports curse on our hands. Okay. Listeners, international friends, I don't know if sports in your countries are as extremely superstitious as in the United States, right? But like sporting here, it's like insane, right? It's like people think that if they wear, the fans especially, they think if they wear the wrong shirt on game day, it lessens the team's chance of winning.
Yeah.
Okay. This is not everybody, obviously. I'm going to put a little asterisk here. It's not every single person.
It's enough,
but also it's a lot to be
concerning. Right?
It is a non-zero number, right? I'll tell you that.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right. So famously, like the Chicago Cubs, like didn't win any World Series for like 100 years, or the Boston Red Sox.
It was real bad,
and they blamed on a curse, right? So I've developed a theory here.
Okay.
Do you know the last time? Well, the last time the men's 100 4x1 sprint team won any medal, it was a silver medal in the 2004 Athens Olympics. Ooh. I think we have maybe angered a Greek god. This is a very Greek god thing to do, right? I don't know if we made Athena angry. Somebody made like Athena angry because this is like an Athena thing, right? Like, oh, you think you're good? Blah. Now you're a spider. What's up? Right? That's a thing that happened. So I don't know. I don't know what happened, but we got to get these people. We got to get them back to Athens. Okay, we have to appease.
Yes,
Athena, Zeus, somebody, right? Apollo, I don't know what's happening. Maybe Hermes, who knows? But like,
oh man, So I think this needs to be obviously a congressional hearings on this to get testimonies.
I will be the civilian lead on this. Okay.
Oh,
Carl Lewis is really angry about this right now. Carl, I got you, buddy. Let's get together. Okay, we can look into this. But here's my reasoning behind this. Sprinters as track athletes, notoriously braggadocious and bold, right? Full of hubris. And do you know who doesn't like any of those qualities? That's right. It's the Greek god. This is how Arachne got turned into a spider. Okay. She said she could weave better than Athena. And Athena was like, you think? Watch this. Blam. Boom. Spider now. What's up?
No, I'm gonna go ahead and go out on a limb here. I'm gonna say yes, this is a very valid theory, and we need investigations on this. Specifically, Hermes. Because Hermes is what? The god of speed.
Exactly.
Right? So he could this would be somebody who would be very easy to offend in the sport of speed. Right?
Yeah.
Things were said, things desecrated or whatever, and here we are.
Here we are.
Over 2 decades later.
Yeah. No medals.
No medals. And that's why I'm saying I think I from what I've gathered from this deep investigation, I think this is good because this doesn't sound like something that Zeus would do. I think he's too above this specific.
That's true. And there's no women involved. So
so he doesn't care.
I thought maybe Athena, just because it's Athens, right? And she's kind of like touchy about this kind of thing, right? So I thought maybe, Hermes, Nike, maybe, right? Right? Goddess of victory. Okay, perhaps.
Right. Because Athena is what? She's what? She's like justice and wisdom.
Yeah.
So if they had won through like deceit or like lack of sportsmanship, maybe she would have done something as a personal affront in her, hometown thing. So, I think that there's obviously a lot of really good avenues to go down on this, but I'm gonna stick with Hermes, or I guess Nike. So
yeah. Yeah, I think it's just suspicious to me that gold in Sydney, right? Before that, like every Olympics was gold for the U.S. men's 4x1 team.
Yeah,
gold in Sydney, silver in Athens, nothing since then. And again, it's plagued with drops and miss handoffs and all kinds of stuff. And it's been happening for a very, very, very long time, right? Again, Carl Lewis is very mad about this. Famous track sprinter Carl Lewis.
Yeah. I mean, rightfully so.
Carl, listen, I'm willing to collaborate here on this investigation. I think that
I mean, I feel like we've already solved this, but yeah, we need to get some more people behind the.
Yeah, we need to take. I don't know if we need to take the 04 team back to Athens.
This is why we gotta get the
repent. Right?
You love a good getting the team back together.
I do love getting the team back together.
You're
the
as a civilian lead, you have to go find these people. You gotta figure out
what a side quest, right? This is
you've just done it. You gotta figure out what their current motivating factors are. You gotta bust through some things that they regret from that time, because they all probably know, right? They all probably know what they have to do. You've got to dig without offending. Man. I'm just excited for when Nick Cage shows up. That's all I got to say.
I mean, I feel like he would make a good cameo in this. I feel like I might need Nick Cage's help. Okay. All right. So we got to look for Sean Crawford, Justin Gatlin, Kobe Miller, and Maurice Green. Right. Maybe Darvish Patton, because he competed in the prelim heats. So he might need to be there too.
Oh, it's really going to be tricky if they've got a story of from some tech or some coach that they were working with that we got to go.
Oh no, the coach. I think about the coach.
Yeah,
this is terrible.
Right. So see, how deep does this go, and how many people have to be back? So this is what I'm saying. 20 years has to be. Time.
Okay. So I'm reading just right now for the first time that in this silver medal winning heat, Justin Gatlin and Kobe Miller botched their baton handoff.
Was this the start?
This is the genesis. This is the genesis right here. This is it.
We've got it.
We've solved it. Okay. So now we have to figure out how to make amends. What must be done to redeem the men's 4x100 in the relay team? Because it's gone on long enough. We must end this. So my quest starts now. I'm going to have to, I don't want to download Twitter. Ew, gross. To get on the internet some other way.
Have somebody else download Twitter for you and
it's true. Them off.
It's true. It's the money
if only there was an official Brother Twitter /X page that I could take control of. Reach out to Justin Gatlin.
Say, hey, we have a very serious podcast, and I have a mission. Look, I can't get into a whole lot right now, but I do need to meet you. And Nick Cage may be there.
It's true. So, this is again important because 2028 Los Angeles Olympics.
Yes.
Right? How good would it be to come back to home turf? And do it. Maybe we just have to go to Athens and run another relay with do it right this time. That feels like a movie thing, right? We go back, we just run a nice relay, and we do it perfect.
Yeah,
we get all the handoffs good, right? We think.
But the real secret is it's their minds and their hearts. Are they in it for the right reason?
Of course, it has to be that. Of course, it has to be the hearts and minds.
It's not just in the mechanics, because that's what they've been trying to do all along. They've missed the true meaning of the relay.
Oh, it's about running as a team instead of a group of 4 individuals. Carl Lewis said that. He said he's tired of seeing just 4 random people come together and run without being a team. Right. So the building team need a montage, of running on the beach, eating some Greek food.
Uh-huh.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Strolling to the Mount Olympus. Right. I don't know. Like,
yeah. Well,
other Greek things.
Insert other Greek things.
Dancing in a circle. Oh, possibly throwing some plates. Okay, I think that's important. Yelling Opa. Right. Yeah, that's so good.
Listening to ABBA.
That's Swedish.
That's Swedish. No, wait. What was the
listening to some sweet bouzouki music?
Right? Yeah. Sorry.
Right.
Yeah. Exactly.
I think that could be it.
Sorry. Yeah.
There's gonna need to be a boat somewhere.
There's a boat. Yep. There's some digging through personal dramas to get through this, and it's the hearts we grew along the way as we finally, in the dimming light of the last sunset before the something whatever runs out, because I don't
slam that beautifully perfect relay.
Yeah. Oh, because the people who manage the stadium are only giving.
Oh yeah, they're gonna come and turn the lights on. Yeah.
Yeah, they're
gonna stay late and turn the lights on.
Because they're getting ready to demolish the stadium. That's what they're gonna do. No. It's under. They're getting ready to tear it down. Oh no, we gotta sneak in. And so we gotta sneak in before they tear it down to the last day. Before the builders roll in.
Oh my gosh, that's great.
Finally, hearts united, combined, running as one. The baton is passed, and the curse is rid.
Boom. It's got to be a shot of everybody walking, like, into the sunset, arms draped around shoulders, baton firmly in hand. Right. Yeah. Boom. Yeah, I think I've solved it. Carl Lewis, we need your help here, buddy. That's what we gotta go.
It's all there. I don't see what the
I think we can get. Maybe we can get. Well, I don't know. We can get NBC to help us, right? We get Al Michaels to narrate this for us in a little docu-series. Bob Costas. We can find Bob Costas, right? Like,
yeah, he'd love to come out. He's not doing.
Yeah. Mike Tirico. I don't know. Whoever other Olympic announcer people. Yeah. Mary Carrillo would probably be down, right? She could probably come help.
Absolutely. I mean, again, when the Olympics aren't around, like sure they do other things, but like not a whole lot. So it's going to be fine.
Yeah. So this is my plan to break the men's relay curse here. This is what I've been strategizing about today. This is where my thoughts have been.
Okay. I think they've been in all the right places. Being perfectly honest. So, all
right.
I think this is good.
Right. So, there we go. That's the Olympic. Oh, the other thing, I did watch the debut of the Olympic breakdancing.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so look, I'm not going to say this confused me.
Okay, me too, but here it is. Boom. Nailed it. Now, also confusingly, not going to be at the next Summer Olympics because there's not really a whole lot of funding for breakdancing. But it's here now.
That is confusing. I understand there's not a whole lot of funding, and they can only going to try and debut certain things, but
yeah,
I guess I wasn't aware.
Kind of weird to hit the one and done, right?
The one and done of breakdancing in 2024.
Okay, yeah, that's true.
Right.
Well, so I think it's one of those things where I've seen like clips and stuff of like dance contests, usually associated with Red Bull. Right. This feels very Red Bull to me. Right. But there is an international dance contest stuff. Right. This is not unheard of. So yeah, the Olympics is interesting. It's really weird that there's a lot of mixed reviews about it. Or a lot of people, not a lot of people, but some people online are like, I can't believe it's in the Olympics. But these are also the people that are like, we need more exposure for this stuff. And they're like, but not the Olympics. Like, what do you mean not the Olympics? It's like the best thing. What are you talking about? I don't know. Right? It's confusing. But yeah, so I watched it, a little confused, not 100% sure how one judges breakdancing. Because a lot of times someone did stuff and was like, dude, that was awesome. And they like didn't give them any points. So I was like, that's confusing because that was cool. I don't know. The coolness, there's more to judging breakdancing than just coolness factor, apparently.
Weird.
But like, I would think that's a very important element, right? Coolness.
Yeah.
You know. But yeah, it was very interesting. Round robin, 16 people person round robin tournaments for the male and female breakdancing contest.
That's interesting.
It was interesting, yeah.
Huh.
So there you go. So after the first round, then it was like top. So they had 4 groups of 4.
Okay.
Right. That round was round robin. Everybody in the group dances off against everybody else. And then top 2 from the group advance to the next round. And then it's single elimination, knockout, tournament style after that. The awkward part is they did it just like you think they did. It's like very step up, right? One person is standing on one side, the other person is standing on the other side, dance battling. That's how it was. There's no posse with them, which is unfortunate because I feel like it would bring a little different energy, but it's okay. It's fine.
So what's interesting about this to me is like when we've been watching obviously a lot of the diving, a lot of that stuff too. So we like everybody kind of has the same repertoire of moves, right? Of different point values and such. Was there anything like that where they were like, oh, here's like they're all trying to do this one move and we're gonna get great on it?
No, there was no. Okay, so here's the other part. There's no like point system. Like nobody scored like. Okay, when I say there's no point system, there's not a point system like diving where there were 9 judges, right? But it was like it wasn't like every judge was giving a score. If that was happening, they were not acknowledging that in the broadcast. It appeared to be more like boxing, where there's 9 judges and every judge gave the round to one or the other person.
I understand.
Right. And so that's where the points came from for the point totals. Like this round, you got 6, you got 3. That's your point total right now.
Yes.
Right. So 3 judges thought you were great, 6 judges thought you were great. And that's where the point total comes. But it was more of a boxing situation where they're like, oh, this round goes to this person. But it wasn't unanimously given to that person. It was every judge basically had like 1 point and you could give it to either one of the competitors, right? And at the end of the round, however many judges gave you a point, that was your score. Which is a little weird, but whatever.
Man,
hard to.
I'm reading this thing right now. But there's like the main elements of breakdancing.
Yeah. Okay. 4? Is that 4? Correct?
Well, there's top rock, freeze, down rock, and then power moves.
Oh. Down rock, I think, is code for footwork.
Spins, footwork, transitions, and power moves. The top rock is performed while standing up.
It's like the dancing part.
That stylish hand movements, sir. Stylish hand movements.
Okay, sorry. But it looks like dancing. Yeah. That's when they pause.
Yes. Comes to a halt mid-routine, often in a difficult position on their heads or hands.
Or in a dramatic fashion.
Dramatic.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, okay. Cool. Judge
and the power moves like the big spins and the flares and like
and the combination of complex sequences that require impressive strength. They often involve breaking, spinning their whole body on hands, back, shoulders, or head.
Yes.
Okay.
Now the announcers were talking about the judges are also looking for more arbitrary things like, are you actually dancing in time with the music? Right.
Musicality.
Musicality, rhythmically, right? And then they were not liking it if you were like repeating the same move again. Right? So if you like did some big thing and then you just like did that same thing again later, they were like, nah, that's not cool.
Oh,
you get points off. It's kind of like in It's a weird analogy, but in Tony Hawk Pro Skater, the first time you do a trick, you get like a certain number of points. And then if you do that same trick again in your point run, the maximum value for that trick is less.
That
because
makes
you've repeated
sense.
it.
Yeah.
Right. You've done it again. So they didn't like repeating moves. Right. They didn't like that. And then they were talking about like looking for like combinations, like unique combinations, like putting together stuff. I thought it was cool. Like, one thing I thought was interesting was that like they did do the whole event with live DJs. So like the music that was going to be on when you were up there, you didn't know it was going to be. It was like a surprise, which is kind of that's more like traditional breakdance style, right? So it wasn't like you could plan. It's not like gymnastics where you plan your routine out to like a set music thing. It was just like, this is the music, go, ha! Like, and it's like about the creativity and the artistic interpretation was part of it, right?
Yeah.
So that was cool. That was I like that part, that it was like mixing up a little bit.
Yeah,
be on your toes.
Right. Well, yeah, because
literally.
Yeah, no, yeah. Sometimes on your hands,
on your head,
and that does make it. I guess it makes it feel more authentic, as it's not a rehearsed thing. It really is freestyling. Which is what that is about. And you're right. Like they have to. The creativity part comes in of right, not just repeating something over and over and over again because they're good at it or because they can fit it in. Like that. That is not what this is supposed to be about. It is about ingenuity, and it is about the creativity and syncing and looping things together as the music changes and whatever. So I mean, it's impressive to watch people do this. I do watch this quite often. So or like not often, but like see, it comes across YouTube and stuff.
Okay, I was like, are you often just watching break? Like what?
Obviously.
All right, I have one more really random thing
sure.
to tell you.
Yeah.
Right. So, because break dancing is an Olympic sport, does that mean that it's finally time for a third Breakin' movie? Breakin' 3 Olympic Dreams? What? What?
Gotta be real. I wasn't even. My brain wasn't there.
Yeah, I think that would be like the greatest comeback movie of all time, right? It has a lot of the tropes that we already talked about, so we won't rehash too much, but I feel like, right, you could have, like, all the cast is still alive, so you could have Ozone and Kelly and Turbo come back, right? One of them could be a coach, right? But then they could be discouraged, and they could go back to the streets and find their love of dancing, and then boom, take it to the Olympic stage. I think Breakin' 3 Olympics, right? I think that's a free one out there, guys. I feel like
I really think that there's. I don't know.
I don't know why we wouldn't make this movie.
No,
great. Come on.
It seems like money literally just sitting there,
right? That's what's got to happen. That could be the new best Olympic movie. Breakin' 3.
This needs to happen.
Yeah. It'd be good. Right? So there you go. That's what I was thinking about today too. It's like, oh my gosh. Breakin' 3. Best Olympic movie ever. I'm struggling with the Olympic movie challenge because of some self-imposed rules that I have placed upon myself. So it's very important. It's kind of hard to find. They're all so dour and like sad. All right, we'll talk more about this next week, but I'm struggling, right? Because I put 2 restrictions on myself. I do not expect you to have to follow these restrictions at all. I just want you to know that. Okay.
Oh, sure.
You go with what your heart desires.
Okay.
But I thought, because I made a list like real fast, and then I went, these are all Winter Olympic movies. And this is the Summer Olympics. That's a bit weird. Turns out all the good Olympic movies that I like are all about the Winter Olympics. So I thought, I'll try to find some Summer Olympic movies, right, to throw into the list, right?
Okay.
And another really important part of the Olympic story is like overcoming adversity and all that stuff, right? So we can't have Team Great Britain win anything. Okay, that's another important thing for my movie. So there's a lot of movies about them. Can't have those either. Those are out. Okay, fair. I don't want any of that.
This is fair. I understand.
And we don't need Team Great Britain winning anything. Okay, and I would like it to be some movie. So I'm stymied, right? So I'm. So I'll let you know how it goes next week. But that's where I'm at in my journey right now. Because I kind of want. So we talked about this before. Like if you thought Americans were obnoxious when they won.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy, the English though. Oh my,
they're pretty bad.
They're pretty bad. Spain did the world a favor this summer when they beat them. They beat England in the Euro finals. Okay, that's why everybody in the world needs to thank Spain right now. Good job, Spain. Okay, way to go.
Thanks, Spain.
Because man, it's bad. It's real bad. That's a personal struggle that I'm having.
Okay. Yeah.
Also.
I
don't feel constrained by my arbitrary like cuts here to this, but like I don't.
Oh man, this is hard.
Yeah, because I was like, I came up with like a bunch of movies. It's like, a bunch, because there's not like a whole bunch anyway. But I was like, these are all Winter Olympics movies in the summertime.
Summertime can't do that,
which is okay. But like, I wanted to challenge myself,
and
see if there are any good ones. Because like we said, like there's a clear winner, obviously already. So yes. but
not that one.
Yeah. So what else is there? Other than the greatest Olympic movie of all time that we already know. But if you don't know, tune in next week.
For us to talk about it. Yeah.
For us to tell you.
For us to tell you exactly what it is. Man, it's just sitting right there, isn't it? Dang it.
I know. We know. Don't touch it yet. Don't touch it yet. Let it simmer. Let it go.
Simmer down. Oh.
Lord.
Simmer down. Anyway. Don't need 80s SNL coming over here.
Weird 90s SNL references. Come on.
Yeah. Interestingly, if you go into Google and you type simmer down, it's like SNL.
Oh, see, there you go. Is that Sherry O'Terry? Is that who that was? I think
what is that? Sherry O'Terry?
I think that's right.
Oh, I don't know.
Is that right?
Yeah. I'm going to include a video link here. Hold on.
There you go.
Okay. Anyway. Who was that? Do you want to dive into the book?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Cool. So we left. What chapter did we leave on? Competitive examination.
I once again only put my bookmark in the place where I am in the book. So I have to back up.
So you're gonna have to.
I really need to double bookmark this action here. It was not that one. It was the chapter 15, the competitive examinations.
Yes.
Right. Chapter's a bit weird. I thought he was going off the rails a bit here, but he came back pretty quick, right? I thought we were going to have a whole other chapter of this nonsense, but he came back. He brought it back. Okay. He reined it in, and we still had some contiguous story action. So King Arthur has come to the place where the spring is.
Yes, because he had just won his, not his bet, but he had said that he knew when they were going to arrive. His prediction, yes.
So Arthur and the whole royal retinue has shown up in the Valley of Holiness, and we get this whole little sidebar thing is a thing, an anecdote about the army positions, right? It came up a little bit last time when he was on the phone, right? When he found the phone cave and was talking on the phone about the army. He's
the army being appointed.
Army.
Yes.
Yeah, because Arthur is, he feels like going armying, and he is trying to appoint some army people. And so Hank was like, "Oh, good, dang it, they didn't. I forgot to tell anybody about West Point 0.5 or whatever. And so like I have all these army candidates and that would be really good armiers, and the king doesn't want any of them. Oh no.
Oh no.
So he goes and he sits in this interview, and it's like the most ridiculous thing of all time, right? But it's a satire of like, just some like weird satire on the hiring process of this kind of stuff, right? Because he presents somebody that has like is really qualified and can read and do math and all this stuff, blah blah. But they're like, but has your family been a thing for 4 generations? Oh, sorry. I'm sorry, you're not qualified for this position. Get out.
Yes.
But so we get a little bit sidetracked here because he starts talking about like the classism thing again, right? And how, these people don't know any better, and you have to like take that into consideration when you're talking about things. He goes on and on, and I'm like, oh no, but then he stops and he goes on to the army selecting things. So I was like, oh, okay. We're good. He made his point and he moved on. Much better than earlier when we had like a whole chapter of just the point. So that was better.
Well, and he does go, so he sits down with his candidate, right? And he is trying to spare them the indignity of examining the weaver's son. And then he goes on and on and on here about all of the what does he say here? It was so beautiful to hear the lad lay out the science of war, the wallow of details in the battle of siege, of supply, transportation, because the guy's just repeating back to him what he had taught him. Right? Like it's
yeah.
I thought that was a good part of this where here Hank is like, oh man, it's so good to hear all these things that I taught him. That's wonderful. Great.
It's kind of weird.
Yeah.
But anyway, like, so yeah, you kind of left going like, does he actually know what any of that means? Or is he just like saying stuff and whatever?
Yes.
But so that was a little bit weird. But yeah, he did that. And they didn't want him. They wanted the other guy whose parent had established 4 generations of nobility, because that's the best thing to do ever. And he even asked the other person, like, can you multiply? And he's like, who? What?
Yeah. Well, he asked him, he said, can you read? He said, do you take me for a clerk? I am not of the blood of... He goes, answer that. No. He's like, can you write? No, right?
I do like the answer to how much is 6 times or 9 times 6. It is a mystery that is hidden from me by reason in the emergency requiring the fathom of it hath not been in my life days occurred. And so not having no need of to know this thing, I abide barren of this knowledge.
I want to use this as a response when I don't know something. I love this.
I might shorten it to I abide barren of this knowledge. I mean,
yes, it is so good because again, it's just, man, how they always challenge of going, man, how would I like, in how many ways can I say I don't know? And like this,
I should have ripped this out on a 6th grader this year. Be like, it is a mystery that is hidden from me by half that the emergency requiring its fathoming hath not been in my life. I'm like, what did you just say?
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. It's so good. It's so good. Again, this.
I was like, where did the other thing go where he says, oh yeah, do you know the science of optics? He's like, I know of governors and places, but I have not heard of this before.
Yes. Oh, well, and then like in the very next question, he asks like, it's a sheep worth 4 pence and a dog worth a penny, and kill the dog before. Again, another great answer where he says, verily in the all wise and unknowable providence of God, who moveth in mysterious ways in his wonders to perform, have I never heard the fellow to this question for confusion of the mind and congestion of the ducts of thought. And then he says, He goes on because this is just a hypothetical situation, but the guy responding says, "Wherefore I beseech you, let the dog and the onions and these people of the strange and godless names work out their several salvations from their piteous and wonderful difficulties without the help of mine."
Yeah. I also like this a little bit before that, but he says, he asks him something. Yeah, no, it was right after that part where he says, "What do you know of the laws of attraction and gravitation?" And he says, like, well, mayhaps he's talking about the king. He said, "Mayhaps his grace the king did promulgate them whilst I lay sick about the beginning of the year, and thereby failed to hear his proclamation."
Yes.
I was sick that day when we talked about it. Okay, and I don't know. Maybe I was not at school that day, and I don't know the answer. Like I don't.
All wonderful. All wonderful.
It's just very funny, like back and forth of like not knowing things and all that stuff. So that was pretty funny. But he decides that his plan is to be like, all right, fine, I'm gonna let them have their thing, but I'm gonna suggest to the king that we make up an entire regiment of just my people. So they're just like everybody is like an officer and blah. You're like, well, that's maybe not the best plan I've ever heard, right? That's definitely if everybody's an officer, that's not really how things get done, right? That's when you like too much middle management's a bad thing, right? As we know. So that's like but he was trying to get his people in there any way he could. So he decided maybe I'll just do this instead. Mm-hmm. That's chapter 15. Kind of weird, but we're still progressing a little bit, so that's good.
Again, just a very interesting. It's interesting to see this progressive. You can see it's like in some cases he has this grand scheme, this grand plan for what he wants the place to look like, but in a lot of instances he's really just winging this by the seat of his pants as situation by situation comes up.
That's true, right? I think we get some of that in the next chapter too, because he is the one about the newspaper, right?
Yes, the first newspaper, actually.
Yeah, but before that, we get a bit of a side note. He goes back to his plan, right? We thought he abandoned this plan many chapters ago, where he was going to go out disguised as just a peasant, right? And so now he's like, okay, we're back on that plan. Because I got distracted by the phone cave last time, but now we're back. We're back on the plan, the peasant plan, right?
Yes.
And he's convinced the king to go with him, right? So King Arthur is gonna go, and then we do get a bit of a funny aside here, where he's like, "Well, shouldn't we tell Guinevere that you're leaving?" And he looks at him and he goes, "Did you not forget that Lancelot's here? So no, whatever I do, she's not going to pay any attention to me at all."
She noteth not the going forth of the king, nor what day he returneth.
So, of course, I changed the subject, right? Like, there's
yes.
Blip. Next.
Of course, yes, I love that.
Which is kind of funny, right? And then we get a really way too long description. Before we can go, we have to do the king's evil thing where he's like blessing the peasantry, right? That's why he's here. He's come to like bless. And the king is, because the king is divine, right? He rules by the divine right. He is in touch with God, and so he is going to help like heal people and stuff. And so there's a really overlong explanation about how normally at this event the king gives everybody a gold piece. This time Hank has decided to replace that with one of the shiny new nickels that he's minted at the new Royal Mint. And so because they're so new and so shiny and have the king on one side and Guinevere on the other, this is much better than an old Roman gold piece. Ew, gross, yuck. It looks so bad. And it's way more economical because he would have been paying out $240 before, and with the nickels you can get away with it costs about $35. So we're saving the kingdom a ton of money here. And the peasantry is super excited because the coins are all shiny and you can really clearly see Arthur on it. So they're like hyped. And so there's way too much explanation about how averages and gross domestic product and all this stuff. And it's very kind of unnecessary.
Yeah. And I love how he starts off by saying I think his very first argument was on how terrible the old gold was, right? He just goes on about like these weren't even minted; these were hammered out. Yeah. What is this? I can't believe this. What?
Yeah. Why would you want that? Why not a shiny new nickel? Yeah.
Yeah, said this would have cost. Yeah, we touched 700 to 800 patients at former rates. This would have cost the government $240. At the new rates, we pulled through for about 200, or we pulled through for about 35.
Yeah, it's nuts, right? So we get this whole deal, and we're all done, and King's evil business is all done, and he he's getting this done, and he sees another one of his people, obviously, because they're just everywhere. It's a newspaper vendor.
Yes.
And he's like, oh my gosh, the newspaper. I haven't seen a newspaper in a long time. I'm so excited about the newspaper. And so
well, he specifically says, one greater than King's had arrived, the newsboy.
Yeah.
Oh,
he's very excited. Right. So he's got the thing. I do like my book has this like printed up thing in it where it looks like the newspaper headline.
Oh, cool.
It's like got these weird like old typesetting thing. You can clearly see that this M is an inverted W from a typeset thing, right?
Like, oh, that's cool.
It's all wonky looking because of what it would have been like to do the thing. So there's this like really weird artistic flair in here. But this part is where we do get a small tiny bit of actual character development. A little teeny bit.
A little one.
Right. Because he reads it and he's like, yes. Once I could have enjoyed it and seen nothing out of the way about it, but now its note was discordant. It was good Arkansas journalism, but this was not Arkansas. So he's like, maybe it went a little too far with sensational newspaper headline stuff. Maybe I gotta dial it down a little bit for the people, right? Like it doesn't quite fit in with the times. It's a little too out of place.
Mm-hmm. Right? Yep. It was good enough Arkansas proofreading, right?
Yeah, I thought that was funny. And then he's like, but the other, he's like, it's pretty good. And then there's another big long excerpt of like what was in the book, what was in the newspaper there. And he said, it's all right. And then he's like, the other paper, he was like, it was a little too much. It was like, it was good, but simple. It was dignified. It was direct, but it's not the best way, like the Clarence way. Cause it's like,
oh, right.
The court circular, Monday, King rode to the park. Quote, and then it's just like ditto Tuesday, quote, King rode to the park.
Yes. Reports on all the comings goings. Yes.
Like, okay, well, so he's like, we got to find a middle ground here somewhere. He's like, the way that I'm used to doesn't quite work. Old Clarence is not quite enough, right? It's
yeah, it is interesting because at this point he is seeing kind of the fruits of his labors and directions and how they're not quite what he
thought. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, because he says, as a rule, the grammar was leaky and the construction more or less lame. But I did not much mind these things. And then I really like this last one. He says, they are common defects of my own, and one mustn't criticize other people on grounds where he can't stand perpendicular himself.
Yeah, that's a good spot. I do like that.
Yes. I was like, oh, well, there is a little bit of he knows that he's not the best at this. And so especially if he was the one that's supposed to be teaching
them. Yeah.
Yeah. Like he's going, you're right. I can't do that. Not what I can do. So
yeah, we get a little insight that maybe he's not the expert in all things.
Maybe.
Right. He's got some little to go. Right. But then as another just like humorous aside here, he's pondering this, sitting there reading the paper, and some friars come and they're like, what is that?
Oh, yes.
You're holding. And he's like, what? Because they couldn't figure out what it was. because it wasn't written in Latin or Greek, right? But I did like where he's talking about it. He's trying to tell him what it is, and he's like, "It's a public journal. I'll explain that later."
Yes.
Its lines are reading matter, but it's not written by hand. It's printed. I'll have to explain to you what that means later too. 1,000.
Yes. Sometime I'll explain paper. I'll explain what a paper is, and then the line. Yes.
Yeah.
Thousands.
He's just like, oh, it's made of this. You don't know what that is. Okay. Anyway, it's
Yeah, and they are very awestruck by this.
I mean, this is kind of an interesting kind of thought, right? Because if this is kind of something similar to what would have happened when Gutenberg did get the print and press rolling, right? Because before this, if you wanted a book, somebody had to hand write it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And so that's what these scribes did in the monasteries, right? They were handwriting things, like mostly the Bible, but there was some other text too. And so if you wanted it, like they said here, that's a year's work for many men. And Hank's response is, nah, it's a day's work for a man and a boy. And they're like, what? It's very shocking, the rate and how that could work, right? It's a miracle. And he's like, okay, maybe a little, but it's fine. Don't worry.
Yes. No, it's a bit worrisome here because they say, aha, a miracle, a wonder, dark work of enchantment.
And he's like,
I let it go.
Okay, maybe no. But he just read it to them, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, that's exactly what happened." And he's like, "Yeah, look at that, boom." And they like the feel of the paper and the stuff because it would have been, different than the vellum or parchment they would have been working on. So they were all excited about that. And then he had to rest for his travel. Departed in the morning, right? He's finally going to go out a-traveling in the next chapter. 17, yes.
And yes.
The Yankee and the King travel incognito. Kind of. Like it's
But they attempt. There should be...
They attempt, right? So they disguise old King Arthur. They give him a haircut. And they trim his facial hair all up, right? And get him all there. And make him look a little bit more common, And I did have a comment here just about the vocabulary that's used, right? Mm-hmm. So this is, I don't know if this is just a me thing, right? But the word comely, right?
Yes,
means like attractive and stuff. But like when I hear comely, does not sound like a word that means that.
This is right? No, this is really true. I always have to, because my brain ticks over and immediately thinks, oh, it's a kind of a plain Jane.
It doesn't sound like a good thing. Like the way that the word sounds doesn't really just give me positive connotation.
No.
Right. Nope. So I always have to think really hard. Like comely is good.
Good.
Because it doesn't sound good.
Nope.
Right.
Nope, it does not.
It doesn't sound.
And it doesn't sound necessarily like it's not bad, like as in like wretched or like horribly or disfigured or whatever. It's just like okay, like it makes it sound like this is average or below. Like you're okay,
yeah, but it's pleasant. The definition is officially pleasant to look at, attractive.
Mm-hmm.
But I just don't feel that.
No.
Right? Like it doesn't work that way. It's an Old English word. So it's actually an Old English Germanic word. Look at there. Boom. Meaning fine or handsome. But just doesn't feel extremely archaic, right? Not used anymore ever. And maybe that's why, because it is archaic and I don't hear it very much. And I only I've never heard anybody say it out loud in active conversation outside of talking about a book.
Fair.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever heard anybody just like whip that one out in conversation, right? Like, oh, what a comely man. Like, never once that I can remember has that happened. So it is extremely archaic, and that could be why I have that like connotation. But like, just the sound of the word, it just doesn't sound very positive, even though it is exposed to be a very positive expression of one's looks, which I just find interesting. I don't know if that was just me or if other people had this problem.
No, this is a problem where words that just don't get used in that context anymore. It's hard to break that habit of our perception of them because we don't interact with them very often. Like if you heard that in more and more daily parlance, it'd be easier to quickly pick up on that. But because
it'd have more meaning, right?
Right. But you're right. I have the exact same problem with, just that word exactly, because it's like, no, I don't. It doesn't sound like what it means, and so I'm never going to remember that.
Yeah, that's very interesting. It's one of the other word. The other word that I have a problem with is gloaming. Right?
Oh, yeah.
That word sounds much more sinister than it actually means. It just means like dusk.
Yep.
Right? It means like it's almost nighttime, but it sounds like and like menacing, but it just means like it's dusk. Like whatever. Anyway, that's like words that don't match what I think they should mean. Right? We get all disguised and we go out and we learn that Arthur has absolutely no idea how to act like a peasant.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
He's clueless. He has no idea what's going on.
He is. No idea. Yes, not used to this life. I mean, ever. Like he's so disconnected. He doesn't even remember, and because it's been so I don't know, cloistered and protected. Like in this instance where you have the people of more nobility are walking through, he's just like he doesn't even remember his current station in life of needing to rise or sit or what that's supposed to do around other people.
Yeah, he's like, you have to get up. They're coming, and he's like, huh? What are you talking about? I was planning a war with Gaul in my head. What's going on?
I'd love that.
As you do, just think about the invasion of Gaul.
I mean,
obviously,
but
yeah. So he keeps having to like harp on him and remind him, and he's like, "You have to bow and avert your eyes," and he like can't do it. Like he like can't bend his neck down to look away because he describes him as like kind of standing angularly and like leaning. Like
yes. Oh, what did he say
like
here?
He physically cannot like do this.
Yes. Yeah, he said he was
up. Is not possible. Another good word, by the way.
Yeah. Well, he said, true. I had forgot when you said the Gaul. I was remembered about the next sentence. He said, he was up by this time, but a farm could have got up quicker if there were any kind of boom in real estate.
Yeah.
Like he is so unbothered by
a humbler attitude, my Lord King. And quick, duck your head. Move, drop it. He did his honest best, but Lord, it was no great thing.
I may need help with understanding about what this means. He looked as humble as the Leaning Tower of Pisa.
Well, even the Leaning Tower is very majestic.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And it's not like bowing down. It's just kind of like listing like
a beautiful sculpture that, obviously still beautiful and but in regal, but just listing a tiny
it's like just kind of he's like only averting like just a little, right? So he's like, oh boy, yeah. If I had foreseen what this thing would be like, I would have said no.
Yes.
But yeah, so he goes on this and he comes around and he's like do, and he like leaves him for a minute and he goes and he's getting some he says he's gonna get some water, but he's like secret to rest and be at ease for a minute. Mm-hmm. And he comes back and he's got like this great guns. Where did you get that? Because the king has just bought like a dagger, like a dagger.
From a
and he's like,
at the end.
Yeah. And he's like, bro, you can't have that. You're a peasant. You're not allowed to have a knife. Come on. You can't be carrying this around. If somebody sees this, we're going to be in big trouble. And he's just like completely clueless. He's like, what? What do you mean? I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh.
So weird. And then right after that, he asks him the question that like throws the rest of the chapter into slightly chaos. Because he says, when you know that I meditate a thing, so when you know that I meditate a thing inconvenient or that hath a peril in it, why do you not warn me to cease from that project? And he's like, how can I read your mind? And he's like, well, I thought you were better than Merlin. Merlin can read my mind. He's like, oh, a trap. Oh, no.
Merlin is a prophet. Yes.
And so he has to dig out of this hole real quick. He's like, all right, so yeah, King, look, people like Merlin, yeah, he's a prophet, sure, but like, how far can Merlin really see into the future, right? And he's like, oh, it's like 20 years. He's like, oh yeah, but that's probably like the maximum, right? Everybody that does prophecy eventually finds the limit to which they can look into the future, right? Some people it's like a short time, other people it's a long time, man. Wouldn't you say that? This is a very Socratic argument, right? He's like, wouldn't you agree that the longer you can see into the future, the more powerful prophecy you are? And the king's like, well, obviously that's true. And he's like, well, what if I told you I can see 13 centuries and a half into the future? Kabam!
Oh. Yeah. Because he says, what? Canst thou truly look beyond even so vast a stretch as time as 700 years? My
He's
liege,
like,
as clear as the vision of an eagle does my prophetic eye penetrate and lay bare the future of this world for nearly 13 centuries and a half.
But then he's like, I shouldn't have said that either, because now all the king wants to do is hear about the future, and I got to keep remembering stuff and tell him about it all the time. Yes. So annoying. Which is really funny. He's like, man, I really stepped in it now, because now I got to keep bringing this up all the time, and all he wants to hear about all the time is this, and we got other things to do.
Why? Well, I mean, why wouldn't you? If you had somebody who was telling you 1,300 years in the future, which is, his present. Yeah, he's going.
Yeah, it was really funny.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I prophesied myself bald-headed trying to supply the demand.
That was really funny. Right. I do also like how the king keeps asking these questions. He's like, it was a wise head. The peasant's cap was no safe disguise for it. You could have known it for a king under a diving bell if you could hear its works of its intellect. So he's like, this trying to disguise the king up as a peasant is just a bad idea. It was not going well. Well. Keeps asking really smart questions, and it's all true. So then we get to the next part. We go off the rails like real quick.
Yes.
So some more knights come. And the king, some knight errants, they're doing some knight errantry, right? They come along, and the king cannot be bothered to act peasantly in their presence, right? He would stand and look with all his eyes, and a proud light would flash with them, and his nostrils would inflate like a warhorse's. Oh no. And so they're supposed to like get out of the way and let the rich knights come through and do all that stuff. And they're not. Again, a very important part of this context, listeners, ladies and gentlemen, is that you have to remember people that were knights in the Middle Ages were rich, right? Mm-hmm. The poor people were not knights, right? There was no middle class, but if there was, there wouldn't be knights. Rich dudes and nobles are knights only. Okay, so the classist thing here is to like deflect to them and like give way to them. And King Arthur's just standing right in the middle of the road, not moving, because he forgets he doesn't go in disguise very well. He's the king. He's never had to move out of anybody's way in his whole life ever. And so now he's ruining the whole thing. But luckily, right, we just so happen.
Oh my gosh.
Right.
Yes. Indeed.
Our Deus Ex Machina of today. The thing is, look what I just happen to have in my pocket is some dynamite. What the heck?
Done up in wool in a box, right? He's a good thing.
I was trying to save it for another little miracle. Never know.
I love dynamite that. The time would come when I would need dynamite. I mean, it's not true. He's used explosions in just a lot of his miracles so far.
So, so it's clearly a handy thing to have about, right? A person needs to have it about with them. But he's like, dang it. What am I going to do now? Getting trapped. Going to get run down by these knights. I got this dynamite. Okay, I guess I'm going to have to do stands there, and they're charging at the king. So he runs out there
and launched out.
He goes out there. I passed them at a rattling gait, and as I went by, I flung out a hair-lifting, soul-scorching, 13-jointed insult, which made the king's effort poor and cheap by comparison. I got it out of the 19th century, where they know how.
I just love what a 13-jointed insult, like
just like probably like good so and so,
yes.
and you're blah blah, like you know how you like, yeah, you low down dirty no good blah 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 blah. One of those type of deals, right? I imagine that's what he's yelling.
Yes,
as he's going in there. Your mother was a hamster. Who knows? But
he smells of elderberry.
Yeah, obviously.
Yep. They turn towards him now, right?
He's making a bigger ruckus. Over here, over this way. And so he just stands there, and as they're charging down for them, he waits in the road a little bit, and he just like flings the dynamite at them.
There's a bomb. There was a bomb at them.
When they were within 15 feet or 15 yards, I sent that bomb with sure aim, and it struck the ground just under the horse's nose. Yes, it was a neat thing. Very neat and pretty to see. It resembled a steamboat explosion on the Mississippi.
And during the next 15 minutes, we stood under a steady drizzle of microscopic fragments of knights and hardware and horse.
Yeah. Delicious. And, but I did like also here he's messed up again, and he's like, dang it. I had to keep telling the king, like, it was all done with he tells the king it was a dynamite bomb. This information did him no damage because it left him as intelligent as he was before. I like that line. But also he said it was a miracle, obviously, but I had to tell him that it was very rare and it could only be done during certain atmospheric conditions. Otherwise, he would be asking for that all the time, and I didn't have any more dynamite.
I love that. Right? He said, anytime we had a good subject, and that would be inconvenient. Yeah.
Yeah, it would be inconvenient because I hadn't any more bombs along.
Yes. Oh, it's so good. It's so funny.
Yeah. So I'm predicting, right, since we're out incognito with King Arthur and it's already gone so badly, it can't get better, right? That something terrible is going to happen to them, I imagine. So this is my prediction here. Something's going to go bad wrong.
I definitely feel as though the king is going to put them in a position
in a little bit of peril,
that they just cannot get out of.
Yeah, so we'll see.
Yeah.
But that seems to be where we're going. Unless he turns around right now, he's like, all right, nope, getting you home. This is too much. Nope, can't deal with it. Gotta go.
So we shall see.
We shall see indeed.
Oh my gosh. This is good. I really like these last chapters. The book is definitely
getting better, right? Yes. The more it goes on. It's definitely it's not necessarily doing a lot, but it is hotting up and getting funnier, like at least in this part. Like it's
a lot of it is it's Hank reacting in the world given the station that he has tried to place himself in. And he is out. I still don't understand exactly why he wants to be going around like a peasant or doing this with the king. It makes zero sense to me. But but he's now he's now not in control anymore of what's going on. Like
no,
and that's why these are so hilarious and these are so good.
Yeah,
because there's just he's not in control anymore.
Yeah, and I think he wants to try to figure out how to make everything better. So he's like, what if I know about the common man more, maybe I can get a better feeling of the world. But yeah, he's out there just dangling in the wind, and he's got to deal with the situations they come. So it's kind of funny how he has to try to quickly just adapt to all the weirdness around him, because he's still, even though he's been there for quite a long time now, he's still not quite accustomed to things, and he's still very fish out of watery and like not knowing what the world's going on sometimes. So that is where the conflict's coming from, and it's quite funny. So hopefully it stays that way. Excuse me. Are you still there?
It's getting very good. Sorry. I pushed a button.
I thought so. I was like,
Collin has disappeared. Ooh.
That's all right.
Yeah, no, it's getting very good. I like this very much.
All right. So for our Mark Twain quote of the week. Right? Because I'm dreading having to go back to work and sit through a bunch of meetings. My Mark Twain quote this week is, never put off till tomorrow what you can do the day after tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I like that one.
Yes.
It speaks to my heart right now, so I throw that one in there.
No, it's a good one because there's the don't put off to tomorrow what you can do today or whatever that is.
Yeah.
Like no. What this actually is, it's don't. It's good. I like it. I'm going to use that. Okay. Well, I have a haiku from our previous episode. Okay. Ready? We're getting in the moment. We're going to say, bending silver minds, mystic hands reveal their truth. Spoons dance, secrets gleam.
Yes. Yes. So good.
Oh,
so good.
Such a crazy story. I watched so many things about Uri Geller. It just like the whole thing, it just blows. Like the amount of hubris you have to do, like you have to have in yourself and what you're doing, and you have to be so convinced, high on your own petard, right, to put yourself out like that and just be like, yeah, absolutely. It boggles the mind. It's
quite.
It's just this. It's just insane what he was trying to do and convince people of, and whatever. So, and it's great lesson in your own biases will blind you to things.
Yes,
so.
Definitely.
Anyway, so
that was good.
There we go. Hey, quick note we'll talk more offline about this. Because of our travel schedule across 2 weeks, we'll need to maybe like double up at some point here quick.
That's fine.
So I'll reach out to you about that. And
all right, sounds good. Can do.
Aha. There we go. Because you start back when? You start back in next Tuesday?
I start back on Tuesday, but then I go like it's just teacher meeting stuff, and then the week after that is when the kids come.
I see. Okay. Okay. Cool. So yeah, we'll try and double up here soon and go from there.
All right. Sounds good.
Okay. Sounds good. Until next time.
All right. Love you.
Bye.
Bye.